Let's podcast alongside Demetri Ravanos.
Hello, everybody.
I'm Joe Ovies inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. Thanks to Empire Properties and thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management, get your schedules and all that kind of stuff synced up in the cloud. You and I should get our black t-shirt schedules right. We look very matchy today. We look like a couple of dudes that are trying to hold on at a Nine Inch Nails show here in a couple of weeks.
Which we're going to be.
Yes. You and I will be at that Nine Inch Nails show in a couple of weeks at Lenovo Center. I've been trying to stay spoiler free, but every time I log into Reddit, I get fed like Portland show, Oakland. I'm like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, so I have not decided if I want to remain spoiler free or not, because I got to assume there's a lot of show to a Nine Inch Nails show. So
yes,
the set list probably doesn't vary.
It does not vary.
Yeah,
it does not. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to see the set list, right? Plus, I'm taking Caleb for baby's first Nine Inch Nails show.
Oh, sure.
So he's had a couple of milestones. Baby's first Metallica show.
Right. He had a baby's first Rage show, right?
He had baby's first Rage show. Baby's first Deftone show earlier this year. So he's touching them all.
This
now it
really is like good parenting. This is like extending the hand of saying, "Hey, I know you're angry."
So we're going to talk to Bomani Jones here in a little bit, and one of the things that I'm curious about, and this is a recurring theme on the show when it comes to music in particular, right? So I've been, as one does in the summer, I have been down a Steely Dan rabbit hole. Okay,
this is something Bomani and I talk about all the time in relation to Spencer. Like, he likes cool music, but I don't fucking get his love of Steely Dan, man.
So I enjoy Steely Dan for this. It's very well produced.
Sure.
So anytime I want to like tweak the stereo around, I'll put on Katie Lied or Asia or something like that, right? Because it's just incredibly produced. And they're not making records like that anymore, Demetri.
Yeah, thank God.
So the reason why I bring up Steely Dan is not a discourse about Steely Dan.
Okay.
It's that you and I are excited about the fact that, this Tron soundtrack is done by Nine Inch Nails. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I was until I heard it. Yeah.
It's fine. It's basically that single I like if you put it in the context of, Trent's done this before, the radio single. He's trying to promote something.
I don't even think it's the radio single. It sounds like theme park music to me.
I mean, well, is it not?
I mean, it's going to be, sure.
Yeah, look, the man's already made a soundtrack for Disney. Yeah. So, come on.
I took the kids to see Fantastic Four the other day.
Yeah.
And the first trailer I ever saw for Tron was in it. Yeah. And it's thumping. That's what's it called? As alive as you need me to be. And it dawned on me, because of what the story of Tron 3 is, like, this is a throwback to like when we used to have a rap song that just recounted the entire plot of the movie over the credits.
Yeah. Now we just need Michelle Pfeiffer and Coolio.
Right.
Anyway.
Right.
So I was going through the catalog, and the point that I'm making here is that Steely Dan, they put out Gaucho in 1980, and then we just like don't hear from them after a hot minute. And then they put out Two Against Nature, which I think came out in like 2003. Now,
didn't they have one in 90? What year, whatever year it was that OK Computer came out, I remember.
It was 97, 98.
97. Okay, 97. Sounds right. I remember the Grammys that year. It was like the nominees for Album of the Year were OK Computer and a bunch of people that hadn't put out albums in years. And I think
wasn't that a Jethro
Steely Dan was one of them.
Was that a Jethro Tull situation?
What do you mean?
Like Jethro Tull also put out like a weird.
They may have
like a rock record. Regardless, I remember as a kid Steely Dan or like Rolling Stones, putting out records still into the 90s and in the 2000s. I'm like, would you guys quit it?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Come on. So that was me as a kid. Now I'm like, Deftones is putting out a new album in a couple of weeks. Hell yes. New Trent. Yes. Let's freaking go. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
There are certain ones like I don't get excited when they come out, but when you listen to it, like the last Pearl Jam album, it was like, still got it, baby.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Bryce Young still has it.
Goddamn right, he still got
carrying over from the end of last season, where it looked like he had turned some kind of corner, and there was trust built between him and Dave Canales, the head coach. I like the fact that the Panthers are taking a different approach to the preseason. They followed through with that on Friday night against the Cleveland Browns. The Browns were not playing their starters. That's neither here nor there. The whole point of the preseason, the whole point of these joint practices is working with your new toys.
With the Browns when it comes to like, and I know we'll get into the specifics of Shedeur in a minute. Like, I think wasn't Shedeur like literally the only healthy quarterback available to them, which is why they went out and signed Tyler Huntley before this game.
And that's why he paid like 3/4.
Yeah.
For heaven's sake.
Yeah.
Right. Now there's a separate conversation about Shedeur Sanders. I will say this. I was on a Panthers podcast last week.
Mm-hmm.
And the vault. And I had said, and this will continue to be the case, it'll be a carryover effect from last year as well, in that every time the Panthers play, it's not going to be about the Panthers.
Right.
It's going to be about the opposing team.
Right.
So last year, when they won, it was, man, that guy's got to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason why Bryce Young had picked up the dumb nickname Carolina Reaper.
Right.
Because somebody was getting fired after the Panthers won, and he actually had a decent game. And then in the games in which they lost, or they played close against, say, the Chiefs or the Eagles, remember, it was a conversation about, well, is this Chiefs team really a Super Bowl contender? Of course, they ended up getting the Super Bowl. The Eagles, I don't know, man. Nick Sirianni, it just goes right back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the season. They go on to win the Super Bowl. And the same thing's going to happen to the Panthers this year. Friday night was not about Bryce Young looking the part again.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night was not about Teterola McMillan and how good he, or Jalen Coker catching a touchdown pass. It wasn't about none of that. It was Shedeur Sanders silencing the haters. Fast forward to week 1 in Jacksonville. If the Panthers win,
100%.
It is not about the Panthers at all. It's about how did Travis Hunter perform, and is the Prince really promised?
Yeah. So before we get into the other side of it, one thing that I think is going to be something that Panthers fans will all have this moment. That first pass that Bryce threw to Teteroa McMillan, the look of the pass, the way it came out of his hand was one of those like, oh no, Bryce, what are you doing? And then you remember, oh, Teteroa McMillan is a giant.
Yes.
This is going to be fine.
That's the point.
Right? Like, we're going to see a lot of those this year.
You drafted this man to make throws like that.
Exactly.
Which is why it ties into a conversation we had with Mike Kay from the Charlotte Observer last week. We cannot discuss these joint practices. We cannot discuss these preseason games as some sort of definitive statement on Bryce and his abilities. You use this time to test yourself. You use this time to see what you can get away with. You use this time to say, hey, I know I got a big wide receiver. What if I put it up here, see what happens?
Well, see,
that's what this is for.
That's the thing that I've sort of been harping on with Bryce for ever since he's been here. And don't get me wrong, year 1+ looked terrible. I'm not denying that it looked terrible. It did. But he is a guy with an innate understanding of the game, of his own confidence level, of all that. Like, there just aren't a lot of dudes that come in as young as him like that. I think that I think part of what damaged the psyche so much was you name a stereotypical body type of a wide receiver of any type.
Yeah.
He had it available to him at Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, he probably had it available to him, at least the high school version of it, at his high school. He didn't have that with the Panthers. And so as much as like that throw looked like an oh no Bryce, like it was an oh no Bryce in the past because he didn't have that guy that could make it look like it was supposed to.
And that's where we are with the Panthers offensively. There's a lot of promise.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the preseason is to see what you can do with the promise and then apply it to the regular season.
You texted me after the game that the story is the same. The receivers have to catch it. And you saw that with Teteroa McMillan. Like, it hit him in the numbers.
Got to catch it.
And he dropped it. Yeah.
Got to catch it. And that's fine. That's what work on it in the preseason, man. It's all good. Now, I don't want to go galaxy brain on the fact that Shedeur Sanders has all these highlight moments, and that's what they were. There were a lot of highlight moments. Yeah. But you notice that he got better as more and more Panthers.
1,000%.
As the roster went from the backups to the third string to undrafted free agents.
Right.
You know, like we got to make some cuts here. As the game progressed and there were fewer talented defenders on the field, Shedeur's play increased. Now, you still got to go out there and work with what you got. So I'm going to give Shedeur credit, but I'm not going to read into the Panthers defense needs some work. I'm like, if you really wanted a galaxy, Brandon, you could say, and I know Scott Fowler put this in the paper over the weekend, that, okay, if you wanted to talk about the lack of depth on defense, we all know this. We all knew this.
Right.
But I'm also not going to judge a defense that's also not playing certain guys to stay healthy, because that, to me, is the biggest story for the Panthers is availability on defense. Just get to the start of the season and then stay healthy the rest of the way.
I thought about this because in the moment that it happened, Christian Roseboom had his hands on Shedeur, and Shedeur made the smallest of moves to get out of the grasp.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God, that tackling's got to get better. And, I kind of wonder how much of it is they're going at half speed. Corey Thornton looked like every bit like we have heard he has looked in practice. But again, it is, I think there's a very good chance Shedeur Sanders is going to start a number of games in the regular season.
Well, he's not a week one starter.
But why couldn't he be? Like, when you look at what else is on that roster, unless Deshaun Watson is healthy?
No, well, is
there anybody on that roster that you can definitively say is better?
I guess the question for Shedeur going forward is, as the preseason progresses, how does the room view it? And if there's one thing that is definitively clear, is that everybody's rooting for him in Cleveland.
Oh, of course. Well, okay. So everybody is rooting for him because of the story of the fall, right?
Sure.
But also, I think there are a lot of people in Cleveland rooting for him because, are you going to put Kenny Pickett out there?
Right.
Are you going to put Joe Flacco out there?
Right.
Like, to me, of all of the conspiracy theories about Shedeur Sanders' fall, the only hard evidence is that Dylan Gabriel got drafted before him, because that is not an NFL quarterback.
No. My thing with Shedeur, I get it. It's Deion's kid. It's like talking about the Dallas Cowboys. It's guaranteed to produce a hit.
Yeah.
And I'll give Shedeur Sanders a lot of credit, because after the game, he very much was like his dad. I mean, I know he looks like his dad. I know there's a certain je ne sais quoi about him that makes you go, yeah, man, that's definitely Deion's kid. But I don't have it on. We're not going to show it on YouTube, but there was this interaction between Shedeur Sanders and Tony Grossi,
who's been covering the Browns forever. Now, is it 92.3 The Fan?
I think so, yeah. So for those who don't know who Tony Grossi is, for local purposes, he would be the equivalent of like a Luke DeCock covering the Canes. He's been around forever, right? That sort of a thing. Or if Colton Tudor was still with us.
That's who I would say it is. If
Colton Tudor was still with us, that would be Tony Grossi, right? And there's this video of Shedeur and Grossi. It was a good interaction where Shedeur was clearly chiding him, like, man, when are you going to say something nice about me? Like, did I do enough? Can you say something positive about me? And, Tony's saying something inaudible, and then they have a laugh, and then they move on. I mean, that is how things typically work in those tunnels, in the locker rooms and stuff like that. There's a little playful back and forth. But as I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, is this what it is? Like, we're like, you have everybody that is rooting for you, essentially.
Right.
Okay. But you're looking for that one guy to still be skeptical of you so that you can use it as the fire. And I'm like, and watching the back and forth, I'm like, damn, man, you really are your dad.
Yeah. I mean,
right down to the mannerisms.
It's the Sanders family playbook. They need an enemy. They need an enemy in the media. They ignore the fact that, like, I can't tell you anybody that, like, actually dislikes Deion. I mean, like, if you dislike him,
there are times where I want to roll my eyes at what he says.
I rolled my eyes at him plenty.
But that's different.
But I roll my eyes at people I love all the time.
I roll my eyes at myself for some of the stupid things I say.
Exactly.
So it's fine.
Exactly. No, it's an old playbook. And when I say it's the Sanders family playbook, I mean, every high level athlete has invented an enemy for themselves in the media at some point. I think that Grossi and a guy like that, like, so if there is a Canes player that has a problem with the media in general, Luke becomes an easy target because he's there all the time. He is also the guy you can go to get the good story out when necessary, because you've developed that relationship with him. I don't like that about Shedeur. Like, I feel like Shedeur does things that his dad earned that he has not done. But I don't think Shedeur is like a Nepo case. Like, I think Shedeur belongs in an NFL camp.
Sure, he belongs. Yeah, he belongs on a roster.
I've been saying this to Lauren since before the draft. I think Shedeur is the safest choice of the rookie quarterbacks right now, but I don't think he's going to get much better than he is right now.
No, I think he kind of is what he is.
He is high floor, low ceiling.
Yeah, and you know what he is? It's kind of like when Sam Howell got in the league.
Okay. Yeah.
It was like, man, I watched that guy go out there and win football games for Carolina.
Yeah.
And there's a level of chaotic energy that happens when you watch him. He makes some exciting plays, but he also is like, man, there's a limit to what you can do in this league. But you can come in and get people fired up for a few plays, cool.
Yeah.
That's really of what I watched with Shedeur Sanders. That was the case. Although it's funny with Tony Grossi and stuff like that, I do wonder as we go further along into this media decline, as more and more people are out of like traditional media jobs, what are you going to do when there's no more media left? You're going to start going after random YouTubers? Is that what's next?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I watched this.
What's the next Sanders generation going to go after? YouTubers, TikTokers?
I mean, it's going to be probably individual Barstool personalities, right? Is everybody going to have a problem with McAfee and Stephen A? Like they're going to be the last two standing?
I guess. I mean, even not even Skip Bayless is generating heat these days. So what are you going to do when they all go away? Who are the bad guys going to be?
Yeah,
where are the haters? Basically what it'll become is all of our favorite athletes are going to turn into the New York Times editorial staff, where they see 3 tweets and go, "There's a groundswell of like." No, guys, it was 3 tweets.
Yeah.
Like everybody's talking about Sydney Sweeney. No, not really.
Right.
No.
Right.
No, not really. Cool. You found somebody with 50 followers saying something about. Cool.
Yeah.
Like that's where we're headed. That's absolutely where we're
100%.
Housekeeping. Big thanks to Enovana for sponsoring Housekeeping. Check them out online at enovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
This is Demetri's opportunity to beg you, the audience, to go and buy the Sports Podcast Festival tickets.
Listen, folks. I don't want to say that the festival is on life support and it's all your fault.
Whoa.
Because that's not entirely true.
Whoa.
But we do have this very cool thing in the triangle. Now, very cool because we created it, right? But it is like, it is the thing that like starts the football season.
Yes.
It's going to be a party. If you came last year and you thought, oh, well, it was fun, but like, it was just people talking. There is a real effort this year to do more of a show. It is going to be a bigger show this year. $62 is the like face value price, but if you use promo code SPF25, because you're probably coming with a date, with a buddy, with a crew, SPF25 is buy one, get one half off. So basically they all come out to like $44.50. Please come out. Like the folks from the Butcher's Market are going to be there with their food truck. There's going to be OG Light on tap. Thanks to the good folks at Auditory FX. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Oh, the good folks at Tail Chaser, our friends from Nature's Relief. Their I guess Sangria brand.
Yeah,
they are going to be doing a giveaway during Big Screen Sports' presentation. You're going to walk away with a mini fridge full of Tail Chaser. There's sangria.
It's a really good wine alternative.
It certainly is. So look, come on out, party on week 0 with us. I believe the boys from Split Zone Duo are trying to set up their own thing beforehand where everybody can watch Farmageddon, the big game of week 0 together, and then come over to the theater. It's going to be like, what can I tell you other than it's college football and it's a party? Please be there. etix.com or therialto.com for tickets.
Also reminding folks, if you were an OG fan subscriber, check your email. Demetri's got a deal for you.
And that deal is I'm probably going to have to put the cap on that on Wednesday.
Okay.
So I will resend that email. If you were an OG fan subscriber and you have not checked that email yet,
check it.
Do it.
Do it. Because there's an offer for you. We're going to have merch there as well, exclusive to the Sports Podcast Festival.
Indeed.
Access to a very special Triangle Good hat.
Yes.
You should go check that out. Now, if you can't make it to the Sports Podcast Festival, I get it. A lot of people from out of town, they can't make it into town. My brother was trying to get here, but he can't do it. I get all that kind of stuff. But you still want some OG merch, it's time to go to ogtrianglemediashop.com. The pop-up shop wraps up on Labor Day. So if you want to get the OG Light shirt, Comfort Colors tee, the party keg, go to ogtrianglemediashop.com. You can get it in tank top form.
Ooh.
Because who doesn't love a tank top?
I wish I had bought one before we went to Greece. I could have used more tank tops.
I have to go get, I had ordered some new tank tops. I have to go get them today.
Sure. Like just for the Ovies family wardrobe?
For me, yeah. I think, in fact, next week on the podcast is tank top week. I'll be wearing one of the tank tops for every show next week.
All right.
Get hype. Can't wait to see these pasty arms, these flabby arms on YouTube. So go to ogtrianglemediashop.com today and go get those goods. Big thanks to NC Grill Rescue. Go to ncgrillrescue.com. Take it from somebody who fired up the grill this weekend after all the rain that we've had. How gross my grill had become. So it took some work, but I got it serviceable. Like, I am comfortable grilling some burgers and dogs on this. Yeah. That's me. Okay. You might have a different standard. Your family might have a different standard. And you don't want to replace all this stuff because it's still good. It just needs a good, deep clean. Right. NC Grill Rescue can do that. So go to ncgrillrescue.com, schedule your service today. And we're talking about, all your outdoor kitchens, getting that stuff deep cleaned. Apparently, I did not know this. Wish Eric would have told me this, but they do the cleaning of the grills at my pool. And let me tell you, that those two pool grills get work. Yeah. All right. And they are fantastic.
So you say they do all the outdoor kitchens. So they do the Blackstone stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, brothers and sisters, take it from somebody that after literally 3 months threw his hands up and said, fuck it, I'm just going to sell the thing.
Yeah.
You need help with the Blackstone.
Yes.
You don't think you do. Trust me, you do.
So go to ncgrillrescue.com. Also, big thanks to our friends at Roback. Check them out online at roback.com. It is perfect Roback weather, rocking those polos.
Oh, just ask Brian Kelly at LSU. Did you see that photo that went around?
No, I did not.
In the gold LSU Roback. This is not Roback's fault. This is purely Brian Kelly's fault. Okay. You can't go gold polo and khaki shorts. You look like you're going on safari.
Oh, wow. Did you have a little pit hat too?
I did Photoshop a pit hat on.
He needed that. Hey, for our Charlotte friends, because the vibes are immaculate in Charlotte right now, they just dropped the CLT. That is the short sleeve performance polo that's available right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it's got little crowns on it. It's fantastic. You can get it right now at roback.com, RHOBACK.com. Use our promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. I bring that up because we do have a lot of folks in Charlotte. You might not be aware that they dropped a Charlotte-specific one, just like they've got the Oak City one for us here in Raleigh. They also dropped their new UNC gear and their state gear. So again, it's all at roback.com. Use that promo code OG20.
It's good that you gave the web address because every man needs to know where the CLT is.
I've heard it's a myth.
That's what I'm leaning into.
Guys, it's not that hard to find. All right. That being said, you know what's really easy to find?
What's that?
Mosquito control.
Oh, sure.
Pest control.
Well, and it's easy to find that because it's so easy to find mosquitoes.
This is true. They'll find you.
That's right.
Bugsbite.com. Go to Mosquito Authority, Pest Authority, bundle and save. I mentioned the grilling and you're outside in your polo. And the last thing you want is get bitten up by mosquitoes.
Listen, this is important to a certain segment of our audience. I think it's important to you and me.
Okay.
Or it is to me. I would guess it is to you. Do you know that mosquitoes are attracted to melanin?
Yes.
So if you get nice and tan, if you are, usually pasty white like Joe and I, but come summertime.
Oh, this olive skin is cooking, baby.
When come summertime, that olive comes out. You need Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority.
When you see me and Demetri rolling down the street, it's like, who are these two vaguely ethnic gentlemen?
That's right.
Because they've been out in the sun. Yes, I have noticed that. They also love my ankles for some reason.
Look at those fellas. I bet they get stopped at airports.
Yeah. So go to bugsbite.com. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline is Bomani Jones. Right Time is the podcast. We're doing it, Bo. We're doing the text thread via podcast now.
We are. I also have to say that first image of an exploding beverage.
I had the exact same
something,
thought.
Boy. Good gracious.
I had the exact same thought. Like, this is a very sexual opening.
Yo, I was about to say, with that music too. I was like, let's say the OG sponsored by Cinemax.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian at Nice Price knows what he's doing when he puts those rights-free tracks down for us. You know, he knows what he's doing. And every night is a delight when you have OG Light. Come on.
Have you ever read the descriptions on like the rights-free music? It is amazing.
Yeah.
Like how close they obviously attempt to be in telling you exactly what it was that they were going for. Like we did one once, me and Hayes and Chip were doing the video. We needed a Stones track. And they referred to it something as like a rolling band from the UK or something like that.
Oh, nice. Look, man, I have a new appreciation for rights-free music because I'm sick and tired of getting flagged on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like this happened last week. Gilio, who's not here, he's on vacation this week. He is now getting fed Bama Rush talk and Bama Rush reels.
Fantastic.
Right? Of course, the algorithm is a reflection of you.
Yes.
As I always like to tell people. And he's been getting this stuff. So I played one of them. He's like, this one's right up my alley. It's Central Florida. They're all in golf attire. I'm like, Joe, this is not for you, dude. It's not meant for you. But it was a Kelly Rowland track that they were using. And sure enough, I get the email from YouTube saying, I cannot monetize this video. It's like, okay, fine. It is what it is. Although you got to explain this. Was this a thing when you were at Bama, dude?
Well, obviously, number one, I was there 99 to 03, so we didn't have the social media to perform for in that way.
There is that.
There were big gatherings out on the lawn to show spirit, excitement, whatever the case may be, but I don't remember them being super active.
Okay.
I will tell you a fun story. On September 11th, 2001.
Oh, jeez.
That's how every fun story begins.
Because every fun story starts that way, Demetri.
So it was a Tuesday. You remembered every Tuesday we had our staff meeting for the student radio station. And this day, our faculty advisor, who was a professor of like psychology, like media psychology, comes in. And he's talking to us. He says, hey, last thing I want to do is just tell me, what would you want from a professor in a class tonight? Because he had a night class to teach. And one girl stands up, decked head to toe in whatever her sorority was, and says, well, I think what this campus really needs is a distraction from the fact that a black girl got rejected from Rush. It's like, that's what? So, and the thing is, Joe,
and Bo, if it happened today, it means that we would have a choreographed dance to pay respects.
Right.
Yeah.
The stranger part about it would be not that she said that and her mind went there, but the room didn't immediately go, that's crazy.
Like, you're nuts.
Yeah. Like, so the culture has always been there. It just wasn't as performative as it is right now because there was nothing to perform for.
Well, as one thing I'll say to this, and Bomani, maybe you can back me up on this. These videos are not meant for me, you, or really anybody else. It's meant for other women to join the sorority, to be a part of that. And obviously the moms of these students, because they're paying big bucks for consultant firms to get people into these sororities.
I mean, why can't they just do it like black people and you just might have to get your ass kicked a couple of times? How about that? Huh? Why don't you try that one on? I have, speaking of black people and speaking of what you described there, I got questions for the black people that signed up for that. I'm amazed that any of them break through. I will tell a funny September the 4th, 2001 story.
Okay.
September 4th, 2001 was my first day of graduate school at Claremont Graduate University in Claremont, California, far, far away from my home. I moved there on 2 weeks' notice. It was a bit of a disorienting experience, and I'd just done 4 years at Carolina University and HBCU. That's heavy on the B. And I walk into class and we sit down and the professor looks at a brown gentleman and asks him where he is from. And that gentleman said, I am from Pakistan. And he says, Pakistan. All right, I want you to note the distinction there.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's like, Pakistan, where you guys kick the shit out of the white people, the British, and kick them out so you can kick the shit out of each other. Now,
oh, damn.
Whoa.
Now, this class met the week.
Ooh, I have to ask, is Claremont in Orange County?
No, it is not. It is the last town east in Los Angeles County on the line of San Bernardino County. However, in terms of sensibilities, is exactly in line with what you were thinking. As
Yes.
the service provider in Claremont did not have BET. Also, for funsies, Snoop had moved out to Claremont for some reason. And boy, that caused quite a hullabaloo with people. But yes, this class met on Tuesdays. It met once a week. It met at night. It met September 4th. So you know what that meant.
Oh, man.
And I've never been more anticipatory of what was going to happen as I was that whole day, getting ready for what in the world is class going to be like on today, September 11th, 2001. And luckily, the guy dialed his shit back. But todo estaba posible en este momento.
You're right. It could have gone in all sorts of ways. All sorts of ways.
He was clearly fearless. Like, he clearly was not afraid of any consequence.
Yeah. I mean, look, we all have a professor story like that. I mean, I remember taking a psychology class that essentially the guy came as British guy, and he basically just motherfucked anybody who thought like an entitlement type of thing. Of course, I'd love to see that exist today because everything is about some sort of, like I said, the parenting thing is the part that kicks me. Right? You know, like the whole Bama Rush thing, we get paying high dollars for the consultants. This comes on the heels of a USA Today story about youth hockey that a bunch of people sent to me, and the Dallas Stars keying in on parent paranoia and FOMO to get what they want, as in gobbling up all the rinks around the area,
right?
Getting them to pay more money because you want to be part of the Dallas Stars organization. So the price of the brick goes up for that. And of course, your kid needs more and more training too.
Yeah.
And it just becomes this thing where, like, the three of us grew up at a time where you did multiple sports. Not now, man. Everything is just keying in on you need to spend more money. And I'm like, who's it for?
Yeah.
It's for the parents, not the kids.
For a bunch of kids that ain't going to no goddamn NHL.
Nope.
So
like, it's crazy enough in all these other sports, but especially in American hockey. Like, we ain't even capital T them in that game.
We're going through this right now with where Aaron plays basketball because it is a league, but also from the league, they select their 2 AAU teams, right? And Aaron really wanted to try out for the AAU team 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And because the league was housed at and financed by a church out in Wake Forest, well, we weren't eligible for that because we weren't members of the church. Well, since then, someone has bought the league privately, has bought the facility privately. So now it is completely separate from the church, and they are advertising to all of the parents. If you were shut out earlier, here is the, now it's open to everybody. And by the way, we're having a skills academy this weekend for just $1,500.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
$1,500 to play basketball?
Not even, Bo, it's not even to play basketball. It is to be told you're not dribbling correctly.
Yo, but the thing about it is the best skills academy used to be the one that would have cost them a whole lot less and they wouldn't do it, which is just go find the blacks, right? Go over there and get your shit up. But
I can't speak for all of Raleigh, but certainly on my side, the north end of Glenwood, like I noticed this with the pandemic.
Yeah.
All of those courts that were outdoor courts, like on the edge of an elementary school's property, right? The courts didn't get taken down. The goals didn't get taken down. All the rims got taken off and they never came back.
Oh,
so there is this, like, I don't know. It feels like there is this coordinated effort to get that entire way of learning basketball out of at least my side of Raleigh.
But no, it's everywhere. There's an underrated story on kind of the death of outdoor basketball. Like, New York has the issue where if you think basketball can be your ticket, and there's all these, from the prep schools to the little small private schools, and I mean private colleges, right? Like your D2, D3 types or whatever. Basketball as pipeline for saving lives kind of thing, is the thing here. But there's something to be done on the death of outdoor basketball. Like, you used to come here as recently as I'd say 20 years ago, and you could just stumble upon a great game outside. I've been living here 8 years. I haven't seen a single good outdoor basketball game once.
Interesting.
And that's because everybody's going privatized?
I think it's important is that if you think you got a kid that could be good, you send them out of New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you do that to keep them away from what they consider to be kind of untoward influences. But even beyond the privatization, it's really the professionalization. And all of this is moving to a model of, rather than you just going around the city playing ball different places in the summer, you're going to work out with trainers.
Yeah.
Or we're getting you out of here on the AAU ball or whatever. But nothing is organic in that way. Everything is a great Bill Walton line. The game is undercoached and overtaught.
I've also, so my son is 14, right? Or about to be 14. And I'm
already?
Yeah. Yeah. We're about to be dead soon, Bo.
Yeah. Bo, I got 2 kids in high school now.
Yeah, I know how old your kids are.
Yeah.
I have the math on yours. You got 17 and 15, right?
It's 17 and 14.
14, yeah.
Yeah, so mine will be 16 and 14 this year. Yeah, my daughter Bo turns 16 in a matter of weeks at this point. Wow. But no, I've noticed this with his league and this is something that I think the stereotype of outdoor playground basketball that we grew up participating in, I think is like it loses its appeal. I watch all of these 14-year-old boys. All they want to do is they want to be Steph. They want to be Caitlin Clark. They want to be from the logo 3-pointers. And outdoor basketball, that's not what outdoor basketball is, right? Like the skill you learn in outdoor basketball, really more than anything, is to take a fucking elbow to the chin and get back up.
Yes. And all them long shots in outdoor basketball, you about to be chasing that ball into the street.
Right.
You kids can't shoot.
Well, look, there's all sorts of indicators where things are going to get coming home to roost for sports, right? So you got the specialization. It's getting priced out for a lot of different people. And then we've talked about this plenty of times here in the state of North Carolina as it relates to officiating, right?
Yeah.
Our old friend, Steve.
Yep.
Who's a basketball official, will sit here and tell you up and down, man, we are screwed in this state because officials, they're not replenishing officials.
Yeah.
Which is why when I saw this clip of a kid at a baseball game in St. Louis, of course.
Of course.
It's of course
Of course it was fucking St. Louis.
So I see this kid in like full ump gear, right? He's mimicking the things. He's got that outfit had to cost money, right down to the mask and everything.
It had to be specially made.
Had to be right down to the number, specially embroidered and everything else.
Because that's not a catcher's chest protector.
No,
like, he clearly has the umpire chest plate.
So so anyway, so if you're watching on YouTube, there's this clip of a Cubs Cardinals game, home run. He's doing the home run signal and all that kind of stuff. You want to make fun of it, but then I think to myself, no, but there's an officiating crisis, so we have to foster that child. We need to make sure that he feels comfortable in officiating, being an umpire. Otherwise, the game goes away, Bomani.
While I believe that what you say has merit and a basis,
of course,
what I see is some god-awful parenting.
I told Joe this is like, imagine having paid $500, $600 for those seats. You're in St. Louis.
That's what I was about to say.
Your team is down 9-0, and you're watching this. Your arch rival, and you're watching.
Right. But like when he says, "Can you buy me this?" Whatever happened to no? No, we're not spending all this money on this. Why? Because one day, if you like girls, I'd like you to be able to meet one.
It is one of my all-time favorite King of the Hill episodes is the one where Bobby gets really into the 90s hard rock youth group.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at the end of the episode, Hank is so against it. At the end of the episode, he pulls down this box of Beanie Babies and Tamagotchis and all these other fads. And he said, "Bobby, I hate this youth group because I don't want Jesus to end up in here."
I had not seen that kid until you showed me, and I ate for him.
It's adorable.
How old is he? He looks too old to be doing that, I guess, is my thing.
Well, he certainly looks too old to be adorable doing that.
Yes, there we go.
It's St. Louis, so they find it adorable. Well, speaking of the insufficient parenting, right? Which is a common refrain going all the way back to the 3-hour lunch break.
That's right.
The old 620, the 620, the bowl. Look, Demetri and I were talking about the Panthers from the perspective of every time people talk about the Panthers or the Panthers play, it's not going to be about the Panthers. It's going to be about the opposition. So we saw it on Friday night with Shedeur Sanders. And the thing that stuck out to me, get away from all the hot takes about him playing against undrafted free agents and the third stringers and all that kind of stuff. It was the clip of him and longtime Cleveland media person Tony Grossi, where as I'm watching this, I'm like, damn, man, you really are your dad, right down to the mannerisms. Right down to the mannerisms. Now, they laughed it off and all that kind of stuff. But see, I wanted to go next level with this. Somebody going after the media and propping up a media person that's when I took it personally. That's a tale as old as time. What's going to happen when all these people go away? What's going to happen when there's no more new ESPN shows and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, who are you going to get mad at?
You're going to get mad at.
We were talking about the sorority consultants earlier. Like KD has a huge future in being an online troll consultant.
Right. Who are you gonna get mad at? I almost feel like this is how you save the job. This is how you save the industry. You basically point to, ESPN got equity stake from the NFL. Yeah. The NFL needs to take equity stake in this podcast because otherwise, who are you gonna hate?
Well, I will say this for one. I actually found Shedeur. First of all, I love that you, when I recorded my podcast today, referred to Tony Grossi as media person because we are very aware of him, but not exactly sure what he does. I could not remember if it was in radio, if he was a newspaper guy.
I know he works for a radio station, but I don't think he works for them on the air.
Okay, I realized that he wasn't Rizzo, who I have had some fascinating back and forths with in the course of time. Two, I actually thought that was very endearing of Shedeur. Yeah. I thought he handled that very, very well. Now, he may be better than his dad in that regard. I once saw his dad pour a bucket of water over Tim McCarver's head and call him a bitch. After winning the National League championship in one of the great finishes in the history of baseball, and Dion, who I don't even know if he played in that game, did that. But yeah, that you raise a good point about who they're going to have to hate. And the answer is going to be they're going to have each other to hate because they'll be doing all the podcasts and they'll be talking about each other. And maybe what this turns into is a lot more fighting. Case in point, when I was growing up, I was about to say, I don't know if you guys remember, but you would remember Spencer Tillman because you'd remember Spencer Tillman from doing college football broadcasts. Well, Spencer Tillman played for the Oilers and he was doing sports on the weekend for Channel 2. While he played for the Oilers. And I don't remember what he said about Lamar Lathan, former Carolina Panthers great, who was drafted by the Oilers in the first round before that. Lamar Lathan whooped his ass in practice one day. And it was on the strength of something that he said on the weekend broadcast. If I am not mistaken, it was the year that Buddy Ryan was there. Okay. So that kind of fighting just kind of happened all the time.
To your point about people fighting each other, I guess that's where the Cam Newtons of the world come in because Cam's really good at this stuff. Cam's actually driven a lot of conversation about who's a game manager, who's this and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's, because even Skip Bayless doesn't have the same run. You can say something about Shedeur, people just shrug their shoulders now okay, cool. So it's going to have to be an athlete that elevates into that position. And Cam's actually very, very good at this.
So think back to, this was just 3 or 4 months ago when he was talking to Travis Hunter, right? Mm-hmm. And on his podcast. And he said that, you are not going to be in a position where you can affect the outcome of a game, but you're still going to have the pressure of being the number one pick. That was Cam's belief. Yeah. And he said, you could have all the expectations and be the quarterback, but if you're like me and you walk into a locker room full of losers and, and he caught hell for that and he never backtracked.
Never backed off.
Never backed off. Didn't double down, but didn't even say, this is what I was trying to say. Cam is very much the model of, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's going to have to be that, though.
Yeah. What I'm saying. He's very much the model of what you're talking about.
See, it's going to have to push forward, and they're on their own thing right now, Bo.
And them boys better be careful coming at Cam, because I will tell you, I don't know if I've laughed as hard as I did when I heard, did you know Gilly the Kid's album was called Philadelphia? Because I did not know this. I had no idea of this at all. He said that man was good at being a mascot, and I did not detect the lie. No. Everybody he gave it to my friends. I like Ryan Clark a lot. He gave it to a couple of others. I was just he came prepared for all of you. This is silly that we're in a world where Cam Newton has to defend his bona fides to Gilly the Kid.
Right. It is weird, but that's just where we are right now. I know you did a press box episode with Joel Anderson, last week or the week before, and you guys were talking about the current state of media. And the point that you keep making, one that I agree with, is if you want to know where things are headed at ESPN, look at the fact that there's been nothing to replace the shows that they've been taking off the air. And it kind of started with you and High Noon. And since that episode, we finally got we got the deal done. ESPN with the NFL Network, they got the WWE. They're launching this app in a couple of weeks that everybody's all hyped about. And this isn't so much about, what everybody kind of does on YouTube now. If I talk about ESPN as a former ESPNer, I'm going to get some clicks, right? And get aggregated. This is more nail in the coffin for a point the three of us have been talking about. You know what was missing from those ESPN app announcements and all the deals that were going on? Did you see any new shows announced? Did you see anything that was on the app that would get you to go, oh, here's this personality that I need to check out too?
Well,
it was only the games.
Well, Joe, you're forgetting about the acquisition of the Rich Eisen show.
For radio. For radio.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
Yes.
Put a pin in that thought.
Okay.
Right? But I think Fox is another one. They cleared out, or FS1 cleared out all the shows that they had, and they're letting Dave Portnoy program the channel now. Everybody's out, like even the McAfee move. We're all out of ideas, guys. Mm-hmm. And this is not just in sports, by the way, right? Every movie is based on a movie that was already made. People are like, why are we rolling the dice on these new ideas when we could find something that's already going and just put it in?
Okay, I'm going to bring something from the group chat, public. Bo, you and I were talking about when the McAfee, or I'm sorry, the Portnoy FS1 thing was announced. And I said to you, doesn't it feel like Outkick is the big loser here, right? Mm-hmm. Because, and I wrote an article about this for Barrett. Like, I'm not saying that Outkick has no value to Fox, but in a world where it is so much easier to justify not spending money than justifying the payoff, you already own Outkick. Like, it would have been the easiest thing in the world. And I wrote this piece saying, I don't think that Fox necessarily now has like buyer's remorse on Outkick. I just don't think they look at them as a sports brand anymore.
Right. Well, did they look at it as a sports brand in the first place?
So I asked that question. Like, if you look at everything Fox has done with Outkick, it has all been for Fox Nation or Fox News. It has not been for Fox at all. I got an email from Outkick saying, you know, we think, first of all, why didn't you ask us for comment? Second of all, like we do sports shows.
I could see where Bomani finds that amusing.
Yeah. Oh, no, I get a lot of emails for comment.
So listen. So they said we were built on sports. We still do sports shows. How could you say we're not a sports brand? Sent back a single line email and did not hear back. You sold a shirt that said it wasn't an insurrection. That's how I could say I don't think Fox views you as a sports brand.
No, I mean, I think that, and if I can be as objective as I possibly can on this, I think that they are first and foremost viewed, and really their existence in large part, as a sports media commentary outlet.
In our world, for sure. I think that now, given where Clay Travis, the majority of his audience comes from, I think those people are probably as shocked to see him talking about sports as we were to see Rush Limbaugh on NFL Live in 2003. Like, yes. I think it is the exact same thing.
Well, see, that's, to me, is where this FS1 thing with Portnoy is going to be interesting, because the mistake that ESPN made with Rush Limbaugh, ESPN believes that everybody who's there is happy to be there. And I mean happy to be there in the sense that they feel lucky to have the opportunity and therefore genuflect at the altar of ESPN. And Rush Limbaugh was like, I'm richer than all of you. And I am assuming that if you hire me to work here, it is because you want me to do this Rush Limbaugh thing. Yeah. You can get somebody else to do your sports thing. And then what happened? Rush Limbaugh got on there and did his Rush Limbaugh thing, and they let him go for it, right? Which cost him absolutely nothing, right? In fact, it reinforced his bona fides. I say that to say, Dave Portnoy, in all likelihood, especially since you've made him your program director, basically, is coming to do Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
To transition, because we only got so much time. Speaking of losing influence, right? We're talking about media losing influence over time, what we do losing influence over time. I feel like LeBron James is learning this summer that he's also kind of crossed into the sunsetting of his influence with how all the moves that usually work aren't working to get the people going.
He got a headline on ESPN on Friday night that he was hyped for Shedeur Sanders.
And all it takes is Luka to be on a fitness magazine and people losing their minds, right?
Yes.
But before we move on to LeBron James, I feel like the best way to kickstart this is to bring in our friend Russ Henry, pure Cleveland man, to remind Bomani and us of one thing. Russ, what's going on, man?
Fuck LeBron.
I love the passion has endured on this for so long. When he came back to Cleveland, I was like, gee, I wonder how Russ feels about this. And I asked Russ, and I found out very clearly, nope. The Cleveland's still strong in this one.
Even if he comes back and wins another one?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I still that weak ass apology that he had just doesn't cut it for me. I
keep
could have
in mind
handled it better.
And keep in mind, Russ is the nicest guy from Cleveland that I know personally.
All right, Russ, get back to work. Fuck LeBron.
Yep. Fuck LeBron.
So this gotta be hard for him, right? Like,
I can't. And to be fair to him, how could it not? Right? Because most guys leave before this happens to you. The only person I think that's been in a similar place is Kareem, right? When Magic comes around. But the thing for LeBron, at least in terms of the difficulty, is the Lakers weren't making like super big giant moves that should have required like consultation. Well, no, they fired coaches. They did things like that. Yeah, I got no true comp on like where it is that LeBron is on this, but he clearly is not happy with the way things are going right now.
I guess the question is, to wrap up the conversation, we're going to learn a lot about LeBron and how he goes about, and I guess him and Maverick Carter, how they go about trying to wrestle back the conversation, try to wrestle back like, no, I'm still the most important person in this league, even though I think this is the first summer we're experiencing, no, you're not moving the needle. No, your tricks do not work. How far are they willing to go, I guess, is the question.
Are we finally going to get the Space Jam sequel race? It's a real thing that was planned by Warner Brothers at one point.
But I think the other thing is that the one thing LeBron has never done is requested a trade.
Yeah.
He has worked he's had options and he's taken them on contracts, but he has in effect worked out every contract that he has ever had.
Has he not kind of already done that this summer though?
But he didn't actually do it, right? Okay. He said he'd be kind of open or whatever it is, but he didn't actually do it. And if Luka, the Luka for MVP case was made with the cover shoot for Men's Health or whatever one of the fitness magazines it was, right? Yeah, this is he shows up in extra great shape. It's only going to be like this for 1 year. We saw Shaquille O'Neal do this the first year of Phil Jackson. We've seen other guys, right? Like this is the year where maybe it happens. And so if Luka is playing MVP level ball and LeBron is anywhere near as good as he was last year, it's easy to say that they are a legitimate title contender, right? And what's LeBron going to do? Pout on one of those? You can't do that, right? Because say whatever you want about him, he's, aside from a couple of games in 2010, he's giving you everything he's had on the floor at all of those times. Is he willing to torch that to try to change what his lot on things is? I don't know, but he's looking up. He got to feel kind of like Drake in the sense where you looked up and you realize, oh, wow, these people actually didn't like me that much. Yeah. And these people in this case are the people that run the Lakers.
It's going to be weird. There's no other league that loves to diminish a championship quite like the NBA. And if they do win, let's say they do win another championship and Luka's the driving force behind it, LeBron now has 2 titles that people can point to saying those aren't real.
That's right.
Right? Because you got the bubble one, which to me is the most difficult one to win, if you think about it. Like talk about Cleveland and the exchange rate, like winning a title in Cleveland is kind of like, the dollar compared to whatever, right? Like the exchange rate on winning in Cleveland's pretty high on that one. The bubble applies to that for me as well, given all the circumstances around it, where you're just there focused on basketball the entire time. But this one, if he's a passenger on a title,
and his saving grace on the basketball part is he's so hardwired to do what you're supposed to do in a basketball game. He's not going to mess it up when it gets like we're not going to have a James Harden situation or anything like that, right? Like he's going to get out there and he's going to play, but like when all the reporters start going to Luka, which is entirely possible.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's all going to be incredibly different for him. And I do think that we can actually empathize with him for what it's like to out of nowhere look up and it ain't your squad like that no more. It's not like none of this is what it used to be for you. Yeah, this is going to be a crazy year. And I got a book over here called A Hollywood Ending by Yaron Weitzman, I believe is how you say his name. I haven't finished reading it. Yeah, but the quotes, the pull quotes on it have the words unvarnished unfiltered. And I just read the prologue, and it sounds like we're going to have some pull quotes out of this one.
Okay. Bomani Jones, Right Time is a Podcast. Hey, man, we appreciate the time as always. We will talk to you later.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Big thanks to Bomani Jones. Big thanks to Gordon Miller and the crew at Miller Lending. Check them out.
Gordo.
The G-Man. He's going to save you money
Mhm.
every single time you refinance. You might be looking at some credit card debt. Aren't we all?
Oh, brother, I just got back from Greece. You bet your ass I'm looking at credit card debt.
Hey, guess who's doing youth hockey again? And
Yep.
Who just had to drop a bunch of money on a stick and some new skates. Yeah, that's great. Support the podcast. So you contact Miller Lending,
Mhm.
919-447-3377 or millerlending.com/theog. That's our specific landing page. You look at that high interest credit card debt and just consolidate it into your home loan, which is a much lower rate. Say what you want about the current rates. They're a lot lower than those credit card rates, and you're going to save money that way. And then when the rates come down in the future, because that's always a possibility, you can refinance again, no closing costs. Why give that money away on this mathematical chance you're going to break even in 8 years as if rates don't constantly change?
Right.
So go to millerlending.com/theog. Take that thing to close. You'll get a Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket. And I believe Gilio is also going to throw in a Roback Polo on top of that. So again, go to millerlending.com/theog. Speaking of homes, what's real? What's not real? What's urban legend as it relates to what the current home market is in the Triangle? Well, don't take it from us. Take it from the experts. Go to Hometown Realty, myhtr.com. You're going to buy and sell with confidence. And of course, our friends at State Farm, Matt Davis and the crew, they're going to help you save money. It's the OG Summer of Savings.
This sounds like the housing block.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
Kind of is. So you've bought that house, you've refinanced, you're still looking to save money. Well, the conversation starts with our friends at State Farm in Garner.
Indeed.
So call them 919-779-8277, insuregarner.com. Just start the conversation. You'll be surprised how much you might be able to save with State Farm. And of course, the After Darks are back this football season. We're going to start with that NC State ECU game. Then we got the UNC TCU game. And it's all thanks to our friends at Bloomin' Blinds. Speaking of the housing block, you just bought that house.
That's right.
You refinanced it.
And you hate the sun.
And you look at these blinds and they're from 1989 with Hunter Green. It's like that weird hunting lodge aesthetic.
Yeah, brother.
Okay. Remember when that was a thing? It's time to upgrade.
You say 89. I fast forward a bit to like 95 when we were talking Hunter Green, when everybody had to have the Eddie Bauer edition Ford Explorer.
Oh, yeah.
And what color did that come in, brother?
Hunter Green. Man, they don't make Hunter Green anymore. Much like the kitchen probably isn't just with a bunch of roosters either. Remember, there was Rooster Chic there for a while.
That's right. We're losing that because of woke.
It's time to upgrade. Go to Bloomin' Blinds. Call them directly at 919-980-9815. Get 10 or more treatments, and you're going to get 10% off. So call them today, 919-980-9815. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group Hotline, split zone duo, he is Stephen Godfrey. He will be here with the crew. Sports Podcast Festival, August 23rd at the Rialto, as we talked about earlier. Steven, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming through.
Hello. How are y'all?
We're excited for the Sports Podcast Festival. I don't know, maybe this conversation can generate a cold call from one Jordon Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, in the same way that Charlotte Wilder got a cold call from Jordon Hudson a couple of weeks ago, and it became an entire podcast episode that was released last week on the Sports Gossip Show. I listened to it. And Steven, my only real takeaway from this is after the summer of Pablo and we're never going to hear for Jordon Hudson again, it's like, y'all, you aren't that naive, were you? You didn't think that was the case. So my question for you, if Jordon Hudson's willing to cold call Charlotte Wilder and retweet things that are negative about Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk, is she ready for sicko's college football world? Is she ready for that internet life? You think you're forging the fires of social media, but do you really know college football social media?
Yankees. That's all I gotta say. Just Yankees. They don't know. I'm serious. They have no idea how this world works.
Yeah,
I don't care. You take your wildest Philadelphia Eagles or New England Patriots fan. I'm sorry, dude. Like Do you know there's a story about, this is not where I wanted to start today, but so be it. There was a story in maybe 20 years ago of a surgeon in Kentucky branding the UK logo on a patient in surgery, like with a little laser thing. I think it was a woman. Dude, save your little NFC East. You got no idea. That number one, Yankees. Number two, I'm talking to a North Carolina audience. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Good for your tax base, but good God, y'all got invaded. I took I was the first time I ever went to. Do you guys know what AFCA is? America.
Yes.
Yeah. Because we're all. So if the audience doesn't, it's like 5,500 football coaches drinking Miller Lite and quarter zips, and every third year it's in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so people know, it is every level of football.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be the world's biggest football fan or work in the industry like I do, and you're like, what logo is that? Like, and it's like D7.
Yeah,
like,
it happens at the Final Four. When we would do Final Fours, Radio Row, it would be the College Basketball Association. I would see logos like, is that a what?
You don't know. Yeah. I mean, God, basketball. No, there's like 7,000 college basketball teams.
Yes.
So this story has a point, I promise. I'm in Charlotte for the first time for the convention. I've got some kin in North Carolina. But I go to we're in like a sports bar. We're all doing our little gossipy thing. And I walk in, heart of Charlotte sports bar. And I go to use the urinal, and the Syracuse basketball schedule is above me on the urinal. And I was like, oh, okay. Y'all lost. They took over. Bank of America owns this state. Anyway, just making good PR for you guys. What about, here's another North Carolina-based idea when it comes to Hudson. What if you adopted the attitude of like the pro wrestling work here?
Mm-hmm.
I think let's not kid ourselves a little bit here. Like, she relishes this stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, yeah, you don't have to go wrestling work. I see where you're going with it.
Yeah.
That probably puts it on a level that most of our audience understands. But I also know there's a lot of people who dabble in the Taylor Swift out there. I'm included in this. And one of the takeaways from this interview or this conversation she had with Wilder that was then relayed on the podcast, because she actually didn't join the podcast, was that she fancies herself the Tree Payne for Bill Belichick. If you're not familiar with who Tree Payne is, that is the publicist for Taylor Swift, who is very, very good at making sure that Taylor Swift's image and headlines are wildly curated. So she fancies herself in this Swift world. So you say it's a work, I say it's publishing or a publicist work.
I'm reading this because you guys told me about this before we went on air. I was unaware.
Okay.
Because that's the level of shit I give about Jordon Hudson. It says it called into a podcast. How did she know it was taping?
No, she called the host of the podcast. She somehow got their number.
Okay.
She never actually went on the podcast. She backed out at the last minute saying, I didn't like your reporting on Miss Maine. The whole thing, the reason why the whole
all right, well then maybe it's not as much of a work.
The reason why I bring it up is, as you said, Yankees. Like, sometimes I don't think people understand there's a culture of college football that if you are not prepared for it, it's going to eat you up and spit you out.
I also think if you're coming to UNC and you can't, like, UNC's not a football culture, man.
No, it's not. But they're trying to make it one. Okay.
I mean, good luck.
That's what they're doing. They're trying to do all these types of things. Will it work? We shall see. That's actually what we talked about with you last time, Stephen, about UNC and whether or not it's going to work. What I'm curious about, related to the ACC, and then we can get to larger topics, is whether or not Clemson can rise above ACC good. You know, we talk about triangle good all the time. Oh, congrats, you're going to go 8-4. You moved heaven and earth to get Bill Belichick. You'll probably still go 8-4. Clemson's probably going to win the league again. They were picked to win the league again. But that's not what we're talking about with Clemson. Are they good enough to actually make some movement in the college football playoff this year?
It's quarterback reliant. I love segments like this where I'm like, I'm an expert. Based off of the people I talk to. I always want to throw this out there. Quarterback reliant. I think that as a prospect, he has been it's not a good, not great, because he's been great, but he hasn't been elite, which I hate that word, but I mean, that's how people talk about quarterbacks.
Sure.
Seeding is a big push here, because your question is, can they basically get out of the first round and make some sort of noise relevant to a national title? And what it looks like now is that if you win one game in the playoff, short of an Ohio State level, we're maxed out 20 million NIL. We have to win the national title. That's a good season. You win one game in the playoff. That's our standard right now. There are exceptions inside of other programs in must-win situations. It's rare, but they exist. I don't think it would be a good season this year if Texas were to not win their standard is to win the national championship. That's certainly the standard for Penn State. But by and large, if you're Clemson, here's the journey I go on with Clemson. I'm kind of shocked they didn't kill themselves. I don't mean suicide. I mean, I'm shocked they were handed all these instruments of demise because of Dabo's moral persuasions. And they pulled up at the last second. It's like they were given an opportunity to say and do all this super stupid bullshit, and they didn't do it. He's like, oh, we're not going to participate in the portal. We're not going to participate in NIL. And he took a really aggressive moral stance and did in public. This isn't something like I'm reporting, y'all. You can pull up any one of his press conferences. Like he spends other programs are reacting to this in real time and saying, hey guys, we got to get I need NIL money. We got to start scouting the portal. And I'm talking about this is Florida State when it worked, right? When they had Jared Verse comes in from Albany and they get the receiver, I forget his name, from Michigan State, I think. And that was the year they went undefeated, to give you an ACC example. Good programs were saying we need to adapt to the portal. We need to complement our great rosters with elite players and compete for national championships. And Dabo's out there being like, that's the devil's work. And then he says the same thing about paying players. So he doubled back his position. And I really thought especially with the way that offense was structured and some of the stuff we saw on the field, I'm like, oh, this is it. This is going to be the natural decline. They won 2 national championships. It was a very particular era. This is pre-portal. This is pre-NIL. And I'll look back in 15 years and be able to explain why they were good in that moment then. And then last year happened. And I thought, oh, okay. They've corrected here. They've adjusted. I'm not saying that they are the Clemson of a couple years back where you had them penciled in as kind of 1 through 5 on title contenders, but they didn't die, right? I am impressed. Also, let me just kind of wave at the ACC here, just like this is what you're still dealing with this buffet. So it's not like you're not running the gauntlet.
No, you're not.
Right. So, I mean, I kind of like them against LSU in week 1. And then if they pocket that win, you take a nick or a cut in conference play, and then you're good. You're in the playoff, right? And then I do think it comes down to quarterback play, as it did last year. Injured quarterback, that explains Georgia, right? Exceptional quarterback play, that explains why Texas went so far, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think quarterback play is kind of the one thing you can easily measure out in the playoff in the 1 year that we've had this. So I just took 7 minutes to say I think they're pretty good.
You talk about the buffet of fair to middling that they are.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Let me get Phil out. Hang on. Where's Phil at? The ass end. There it is. Ass end of ACC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to talk about Fran Brown at Syracuse for a second.
Well, that's not the ass end of the ACC.
You're right. Okay. They are good enough that they should be in that 8-9 win pretty easily range. I think they are one of the few, there's no way Bill Belichick is going to win this game on Carolina's schedule for sure.
Right.
Fran Brown is already being talked about as, he's going to have his pick of whatever SEC job he wants after this season.
Not this season. Whoever's talking about that they're not doing their homework. There's a couple things here.
Well, so the other thing I wonder, and because you are well sourced on these things, is going back to the SEC even Fran Brown's ultimate goal? He seems very happy to be back home.
Well,
or home-ish.
You're not going to turn certain jobs down ever, obviously, but I do think, and look, a lot of this could just be PR, boilerplate, pablum nonsense. God knows we shovel enough of that. But he does seem to really have a stake in the Northeast in college football. Odd place to put a stake. But it's an underserved market, and so there's a growth opportunity. And it's not like football talent just completely dries up north of Baltimore. That's not that is not the case. No Sean Moreno. First one, I don't know why I thought of him first. Was like, that's a New Jersey kid. Like Fran is from New Jersey. Now, Rochester, Syracuse, not teaming with 5-star D tackles, but that's okay because you are starting to recruit nationally and manage an NIL. There are some advantages, like yada, yada, yada. They're not going to be as good this year as they were last year because they actually roll over. They were in a weird dead cat bounce where he took over a roster that largely wasn't his. They made some tweaks. They did sneak up on some teams. Some of their wins were, they had several close wins off the top of my head that I can think of. You're probably not supposed to win that Miami game, obviously, but Mario's good for that, baby.
Yep.
Probably not supposed to win that VTech game, et cetera, et cetera. So they had close wins. They overperformed. They were an unknown quantity. They don't have a lot of talent returning. They basically turned the entire offense over. I like Fran as a long play. I don't gamble. What the fuck? Long play. Whatever. So we can have the conversation that you're proposing in 2 or 3 years. Also, he has not done anything Dino didn't do yet. I think he will. Yeah. But so we're in a visual medium here, so I'm going to find my camera. This is Syracuse under Dino. And the reason why, when I would be told by opposing coaches, is you can pop a hot year with the right skill position players. Mm-hmm. Sustaining depth in upstate New York pre-portal was pretty hard. Mm-hmm. So we're ahead of our skis on Fran. Good, great coach, maybe. Good, great. We're not there yet.
Yeah, there's been a countless number of coaches in the triangle that we've done the same thing.
Like,
sure. Oh man, be careful. He's going to be leaving for a bigger job, going all the way back to Chuck.
Dave Doran's interviewed for like 95 jobs.
Yeah.
Well, not recently.
Well, not recently, because I think Dave's probably looking at the end here pretty soon.
Aren't we all?
It's just like, hey man, I've made my money. I think he just wants to get to his 10-win mark and then retire, go off to the beach.
He's going to Lake.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
Is Dave a lake guy or a beach guy?
He is a lake guy.
Do you know my theory on that? What's Dave's background as a coordinator?
Oh, geez, off the top of my head.
He's
defensive. Yeah, defensive
exactly.
Side.
Okay, so this is a perfect theory. It's
not
perfect, but it's close. Defensive coordinators are lake guys. Offensive coordinators are beach guys. This makes total sense when you think about it, because your remit as a defensive coordinator is to constantly stop something that you did not originate or control. So you're constantly in a response mode. You're basically sick of anything that's new, modern, or cool, right? Mm-hmm. You're tired of that shit, and you want everything to slow down and calm down. A defensive coordinator's favorite game is like 9-6, right? 10-3.
Yeah.
What do you do when you go to the lake? You sit and you see still water.
Yeah.
The goal at the lake is to go sit in silence. I was raised by a lake guy, right? Total silence. I want to go fishing. I don't want to talk to you at all. Okay. Offensive coordinator, what's he doing? We're making shit up, baby. We're having fun.
Yeah,
so what's more fun than the beach? Waves? Cool. Surf? Awesome. Lots of people around. Sand, strange places. We love that shit, right? Where did Cliff Kingsbury go to hang out on his off seasons? He'd go to LA, go to the beach.
Yep.
All right. Offense coordinators, beach guys. Lake defense coordinators want to sit in silence at the lake and think about how the world has wronged them.
Look at Mike McCarthy. Shows up to Miami. He starts looking like an extra from Miami Vice. And I guess he got high and listened to Pink Floyd because he was talking about how we're one day closer to death the other day when talking about stuff. Although that doesn't explain Bill Belichick.
If I lived in Dade County, I'd probably adopt a short view on life as well.
Yeah, no, I was going to say anytime I go visit family, I also count down the how did I live here, actually? And I'm glad I'm not here. But that doesn't explain the Lake Beach thing. Doesn't explain Bill Belichick.
He's a shore guy. It's different when you get above a certain.
Yeah.
When you're a Northeast guy, suddenly you find yourself out there.
Hey, those aren't beaches.
Right. Well, that's a valid point.
Right.
They're covered in rocks.
I talk about this with people from back home all the time with the North Carolina beaches, or specifically with the Outer Banks.
Yeah.
Like the shorthand is, it's not a Jimmy Buffett beach. Right?
No,
no. It's a synopsis.
I grew up in the DC suburbs. I'm Southern, but we were stationed in the DC suburbs for like 10 years. And the closest replication of a Southern beach we could get for like a decent drive, growing up middle class, was to go to North Carolina and go to Outer Banks.
Yep.
Anything Ocean City, Maryland? No.
You weren't highfalutin at Rehoboth Beach, man?
No, government employees. School
you weren't going to Bethany. No. You weren't chilling in Bethany because I know Rehoboth was like a direct shot.
Buddy. No. If we got a Days Inn that faced the beach? That was fancy.
I was gonna say you were going to Grandy. You were hanging out. As referenced earlier, you were hanging out with the monster trucks, Gravedigger and the crew.
My parents went to Georgia Southern and talked wistfully about the halcyon days of Daytona. I need to. So let's level set here, folks.
And there's levels to Florida as well, because growing up in Boca Raton, we did never step foot in Daytona.
Oh,
you would
God,
not catch us
no.
in Daytona, man. There's no freaking way.
You can catch a lot in Daytona, but you won't catch me.
Now, speaking of Bill Belichick, I think we've discussed enough what's up with North Carolina. Who is TCU? What, there's going to be all Bill this, Bill that.
Oh, I like him.
This is the second time TCU's had to go up against the coach that everybody is obsessing over.
True, yeah.
Right?
Oh, and don't think that isn't factoring on Sonny for sure.
I'm sure that it is.
I like a lot of what they did this offseason, and I think they're going to be ready in a very, very unique way for this game is probably the best way I could say it.
So that's what I was curious about, and we'll close the conversation on this.
Yeah.
Because Sonny has experience with this. Also, there's no Shedeur Sanders on this UNC squad that can be factoring in on
or
that.
Travis Hunter, yeah.
There's that as well. So I guess what I'm getting at is nobody should be surprised if TCU goes out and wins this game on a Monday night.
No, I'm picking them. Are people bullish on North Carolina?
I think they're just bullish because of the attitude of, well, it's Bill Belichick. He's a genius.
I also think you look at the schedule and it's hard to find 5 losses on that schedule.
There's that too.
For what? North Carolina?
North Carolina, yeah.
Well, TCU's a loss. I mean, that's a better football team coming in. They're not going to worry. Look, it's not an intimidating road environment.
No, that's for sure. But true. I mean, the schedule is, especially when you sub out, not that Malzahn had UCF cooking, but you sub out Malzahn with the ghost of Scott Frost. Like what challenge outside of TCU is there in the non-conference? And we've talked ad nauseum about, the huge divide in the ACC. And they get both teams at the bottom of that divide.
I like Josh Hoover. I like what they've done to rework recruiting / portal at TCU. They had a weird hiccup. We were talking about like the bounce earlier for Syracuse, but man, remember the TCU team that's in the national championship is constructed by Patterson. I'm not trying to slight Dykes. I think he's very good at what he does. This is a reformed, reworked team. They're benefiting from being overlooked right now in all the right ways, and I don't normally pay stock into that. I think it's cliche, but the Big 12 has a logjam of 7 teams that could win the conference and then therefore qualify for the playoff. There's going to be an Arizona State type situation again in that league. TCU can lay claim to that as much as any of those other 6, 7 teams. All the attention in their state is on Texas Tech and Texas for reasons that don't affect TCU. I like everything about what they're doing. I like their coaching staff. I think they've reworked their personnel, and I think that they suffered the dip, and they've built a really nice program. They closed on a bunch of wins last year. They probably should have beat Baylor, and then they would have closed with 6 straight. So I like them to come in and win the game. I can't give you an analytical. Well, I'd give you a bullshit one, but a breakdown past that. Expectations are just out of whack for the first game. Also, let me back up and just rant. Why is it just because he won Super Bowls? That's probably why, right? Let's be honest. If you took a second and looked up the history of NFL coaches who step down and go into these roles is terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Lovie Smith, oh my God, idiot that's on ESPN now. Arizona State.
Herm Edwards.
Herm. Good God. Herm sunk a program directly into NCAA violations.
Yeah.
And then ESPN hired him back, and they just don't talk about it.
Yeah. First of all, I think both of us agree with you, right? I don't think either of us think this is a magical turnaround because of Bill.
I think going to ACC kickoff, because the last time we talked to you, Stephen, was before
You were there.
This was before Belichick showed up. And the day that he was
following him into the bathroom, right?
Yes. It was
normal.
It finally clicked for me what's going on.
Okay.
Right. And you say, well, what is it about this? You're right in that Belichick is not the first former NFL coach to go to college and have varying levels of mid that happen with it.
Yeah.
We've never had this caliber of coach with the intrigue over how it ended with Tom Brady, with the NFL basically telling him, we don't want you anymore. And when you're also in a starved area for anything interesting in college football, you combine all those things together. That's how you get the circus that was ACC kickoff, which I gave Carolina some credit Because at first I was like, this is dumb. And then I showed up to the breakout session, was like a breakout session I'd never seen before. I've seen breakout sessions at the fucking Super Bowl with less people than this. Okay. Right. So when I saw all of that happening, it dawned on me. I'm like, oh, this is what it's so bizarre. It's so strange that you can't help but rubberneck it. Now, rubbernecking and whether or not you actually put stock into whether or not Carolina's going to be good with Bill Belichick are two completely different conversations. I think what's happening now is rubbernecking, which gets to the question here beyond TCU. If all three of us are in agreement that they're going to lose to TCU, then what happens? Because it's not that they're playing compelling games until they see Clemson. And the next time we see a compelling game with Carolina and it features Clemson, how do we think that's going to go? You don't think Dabo's got that one cooked up? As Gillia likes to say, Clemson has the fuck you, we're still Clemson games. And you know Dabo's got that one circled, man.
Sure, as he should.
So at that point, the rubbernecking goes away and you have to evaluate it for what it is. It then becomes a question of how long is Belichick going to do this? Because it's not a long haul situation.
I think, when's the next time the Jags are open?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, and so to that point, like, I think, Joe, you're overlooking a local factor here.
Okay.
There's a void right now. Roy is gone. Kay is gone.
Yeah.
Like, the triangle yearns for legendary status,
of course,
here in college sports.
Stuffy white men.
And I think Roy and Kay accomplished a certain thing. Another legend is here.
I disagree.
All right.
What?
State has Will Wade now.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, they do. My boy.
That man.
I don't have my warm-up gear on.
Yeah, that man called for a reckoning. So I don't see.
I didn't think ahead.
I'm with you. I don't think State fans yearn.
Yo, I've been getting so much Go Pack. I gotta stop.
Dude, I don't know, man.
No, I wear because I said this on the show, right? That he sent me the care package.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And like I've been wearing it. It's all gym clothes, like the dry fit stuff, and I'll wear it and work out, and people would be like hollering, "Go Pack!" and like, "Oh my God, what part of the state are you from?" And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not from there at all." And then I have to go through this weird, like, I have no connection to the university whatsoever. But look, they hired a basketball coach who admitted to cheating, and I'm really ideologically aligned with this. And like, I'm doing this in like a gas station parking lot. Be like, "Fuck, all right, never mind. I just wanted to say Go Pack." Like, I should just start saying like, "Yeah, this right here."
This is coming from somebody when we go travel. Demetri's in the same boat as me. You go to national parks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've gone to 18 national parks now. And you're going to see people wearing college gear. And you can hit the greatest hits. You're going to see a Georgia. You're going to see an Alabama. You'll see a Clemson. You'll see a UNC because it's a national brand and people are just going to wear the UNC stuff. They go all over the place. There's 3 in the state of North Carolina that if I see, I'm like, oh, you're from North Carolina. NC State is number 1.
Okay.
You don't just pick the Wolfpack. Okay. You're born into that shit. So you're going to wear it proudly. And when you see somebody else wearing it, you're like, oh man, just like me, you're in this shit. Wolfpack ain't for soft people, baby. So,
So the one NC,
So if you see another NC State person out and about, like in California, man, they went to state. It ain't bullshit. So that's why they're going to see you and go like, Go Pack.
The one NC State fan I've known for a pretty long time. And I don't think he would mind me telling the story because it's like post and pre-sobriety. Are you guys familiar with American Aquarium?
Yes.
Okay. So BJ, the lead singer of American Aquarium.
Is this a BJ story?
Yes, it is. Recorded albums with one of my best friends in Oxford.
Yeah.
Mississippi a long time ago. And so we've been just kind of friends through friends for a long time. And so that was my introduction to and template for all Wolfpack fans.
Yeah.
Which is, I would say, if you boiled it down, it's equal parts Go Pack till I die. It's not for the weak, like you said. And fuck North Carolina. What do they say? And hit them up. Fuck you as a label, a crew, a record, like the whole deal.
A whole deal.
So yeah.
A whole deal.
But it is a 110% passionate buy-in. By the way, real fast, back when I was running when he would come into town and then we would go out and stuff. These were old days, long time ago. American Aquarium. I don't know if you guys knew this. They would drive a bus, like an Econoline bus that said American Aquarium Baptist Church, Raleigh, North Carolina, so that they wouldn't get pulled over back in their sort of, halcyon partying days. Genius move I've never seen replicated by. I live in Nashville, so there's bands everywhere. You can buy, you can get a Sprinter van here, like on the corner.
Yeah.
I've never seen that replicated. Genius move. American Aquarium Baptist Church, Raleigh, North Carolina. God
That
bless
is
those
brilliant.
boys.
That is brilliant. Now, the other one I was going to say is App State. You see ECU, NC State, App State while you're at a national park.
Yeah,
That's fair.
They went there straight up. There's no.
Well, I was raised a Georgia Southern fan, so those guys get really squirrely with me.
Oh yeah. I was going to say with App State, they definitely know about that.
On the converse, I got shouted out with a Roll Tide in the middle of Athens, Greece, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's
Were you
universal.
wearing something with Bama on it?
I was, yeah.
Roll Tide, baby.
Well, that's a choice.
Stephen Godfrey, split zone. It is a
Look,
choice.
some of us went to school there. It's okay.
It's okay.
I mean, we don't have to advertise that shit.
Stephen Godfrey, split zone duo. He'll be here. Maybe Will Wade will be here. I don't know. August 23rd at the Rialto. It's going to be a surprise.
If he shows up, we're passing the plate like a Baptist church. Y'all better pony up. Shit's above board now. Y'all want to win? Write some checks. Let's go. I'm following Pack basketball this year.
That's why I say you don't need Roy anymore.
You want to know why? Because fuck everybody else in college basketball. That's why.
It's Wade's world now, man. All right, Steven, we appreciate it. We'll see you
Thanks,
for the Sports Podcast Festival. We mentioned the Butcher's Market earlier. They're going to be providing food for the Sports Podcast Festival. Go to therealtor.com. Get your tickets today. I also went to the Butcher's Market this weekend. Don't tell me advertising doesn't work.
Okay.
All right. Because we tell people all the time, go here, go there, do that. You always take our word for it.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me set this up for you. Joe, I've heard advertising doesn't work.
I'm going to prove you wrong.
Oh, what?
I'm going to tell you to go to the Butcher's Market and ask for the Gleazy.
Okay.
You'd be like, excuse me, what? Like, yeah, man, just roll up. I know they got at that Millbrook, at the Millbrook and Six Forks location.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That is the Gleazy.
Okay.
You're like, what's the Gleazy? It is a brisket dog.
Damn.
That is fantastic.
Damn.
So I got a few this weekend, grilled them up. They crisped up really, really nice.
Oh, wait. So this isn't something they serve you to walk away with. This is something they give you for you to prepare at home.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, no, it's a prepared dog. You just got to throw it on the grill.
Yeah.
It's called Gleazy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Okay.
Okay. So pick it up, put it on, and your kids are going to love it. You're going to love it. It even has something called Gleazy sauce.
Oh, man.
Which is like a tangy mustard. It's actually pretty freaking good.
All right. So here's the thing. People watching on YouTube might see that it's time for me to shape up these shaggy eyebrows.
Yeah.
I go visit my cousin who is in Saltbox Village to do that. Just pop right over and get some Gleazies after.
Get the Gleazies. Highly recommend for your last days of pool grilling. Your cookout for Labor Day, perhaps some tailgating. I highly recommend the Gleazy from the Butcher's Market. Go to thebutchersmarkets.com. Also, while you're out and about and you're preparing for your home grilling, get some pints of ice cream while you're at it.
Yes, sir.
TwoRoosters.com. They got the All-Star series going on right now. Hopefully, our flavor will be an All-Star one day. Hey, now, we will be All-Stars, hopefully, in the future for our flavor that is no longer in circulation. Actually, I had some friends text me saying, look at how sad we are when we realized your flavor was only there for a month. Like, sorry. Hopefully they'll bring it back. But they're always rotating in new flavors. If you love peanut butter, they brought back the peanut butter cookie, which is fantastic.
Yes.
So go to TwoRoosters.com. Now, as you know, we are very much about balance. All right. I just told you to go get these hot dogs.
Right.
I just told you to chase those dogs with pints of ice cream. But you can't live like that. You can't be doing Gleazies and ice cream every day. Life is about balance. You got to mix in a smoothie from time to time. Need some roughage. Need a little salad.
Sure.
But you also don't want to be like,
at some point.
You don't want to be like, oh man, this has no taste. This isn't good. This isn't filling me up. Incorrect. You got to go to Happy and Hail.
Oh, Happy and Hail.
Happy and Hail. Check them out. Download the app today. Use that promo code OG25.
Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hail.
So we are getting dangerously close to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's not so much that I am wrapped up in subscriber numbers. Numbers can be manipulated.
Sure.
Okay. They can be manipulated. Numbers tend to be vanity, a little bit of a vanity thing. But I like round numbers. You see where there's a push and pull here.
A number that feels like an accomplishment.
Like I don't care about numbers, but I care about certain numbers. Like big round numbers, milestone numbers, like 10,000 subscribers. Hey, look at that, 10,000 subscribers, right? So what we're going to do is if you are subscriber number 10,000, screen grab it to prove that you are subscriber number 10,000. and we have one of our last Happy and Hail black cards, which gives you 20% off for life.
Nice.
Now, I feel like I might have to contact Whitaker and Hamer if there's a dispute over who subscriber number 10,000
I'm just going to squat on it.
So that might be. Somebody's going to be unsubscribing. I mean, I get it. I get the hustle, but you got to do what you got to do. If there's a dispute, I know where to take it. WH.lawyer.
Yes,
Whitaker
indeed.
and Hamer, check them out. Attorneys and counselors at law. They've got you covered. Again, that's WH.lawyer. They can do simple things like proving who subscriber number 10,000 is to, I don't know, hopefully Giulio doesn't get any speeding tickets while he's out and about. That would be something that they can handle as well. All right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe. As always, it's brought to you by Nature's Relief because they are the ones behind the OG sports phone. Let's get after it, shall we?
919-444-2211. Call the OG sports phone and curse or don't.
All right, I believe this one comes to us from a 919.
Hey guys, respectfully, we actually do know where Ryder gets his money for Paw Patrol. Not in the show, but in the movie, I think it's Trouble that asks Ryder, "Hey, how can we afford all this stuff?" And he mentions that they do great with the merch. And as a father of a 2.5-year-old, yes, they do in fact do well with the merch. That being said, great podcast, guys. As always, go to North Carolina, and you'll have a great day.
Do we have? This is an honest question.
Yeah.
Do you think we have an ACC situation with the Paw Patrol? Because if I am Marshall, or
remember, I don't know anything about Paw Patrol.
If I'm Rubble,
yeah,
I'm like, you're not giving me the same cut that the jet ski dog is getting.
So what you're talking about is a success initiative,
yes,
within Ryder's privatized municipal services, racket,
right? Like because if we are making money off of merch, it's Marshall the fire truck dog. My kids were right at the beginning of Paw Patrol.
Oh, okay.
It's Marshall the fire truck dog. It is Chase the cop dog, which, like, shame on all of you. But
every kid goes through a cop phase.
I understand, but you can discourage it because there is also a fat little British bulldog named Rubble that rides around in a backhoe. That guy is moving merch. That is your Clemson, your North Carolina, your Florida State.
Fair enough. Who's the UNC of the group? They got a great brand, but they're not exactly producing.
Yeah, I think that's Marshall.
Okay, it's Marshall. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. Look, this idea that there aren't some problematic messages being served up by Paw Patrol. Like I've heard from some people saying,
Paw Patrol is like the greatest advertisement the surveillance state has ever had.
Now, I would argue, because we're getting into this, I would argue, and I'm guilty of this, and I kind of regret that I ever did it. Elf on a Shelf also promotes a surveillance state.
1,000%. We never did it for that reason.
And I'm mad at myself that we actually did that.
Yeah.
I wish I could take that time back. I'm disgusted with myself that I succumbed to the Elf on a Shelf.
Yeah. If Santa Claus really is as good of a entity as we claim him to be, he would not be employing undercover cops.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I also got mad because the kids would start asking me, well, my friend said that their elf did all these wacky, zany things. And it's like, dude, I don't got the energy.
Yeah.
I just don't. All right. Next up.
Ovies. Today you said, don't get me started on the Savannah Bananas, but I want to get you started. I want to hear your opinion. I watched my first game on ESPN Plus the other day, and I work in the sports world, and I was excited. I wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. Everyone's talking about it. Why are they selling out? All of this stuff. And I'm just going to stop there. I want to hear your opinion. I want a Paw Patrol breakdown of what you think of the Savannah Bananas and see if we're aligned on that. I have strong opinions. Just ask my wife. She's tired of me talking about it already.
I don't want to get in your way. I'm going to step out of your way and let you totally go.
It's not that deep, but yeah.
I have a theory about why the Savannah Bananas are popular. I will save it until after you.
We might be on the same page. First and foremost, I credit the Savannah Bananas for how they go about their business plan.
Sure.
And they're very adamant about pricing tickets at affordable rates. That's how they can sell out football stadiums and things like that. They can also sell out football stadiums because you're only going to see them once.
They also do a thing like when they come to if you want them to come to your stadium, you have to agree to eat the taxes.
Yes.
Which I think is very smart.
It's from a business perspective, it's all very, very smart, but it's a business model that can only be done by them.
Right.
I also don't know what the sustainability of their business model is going forward, because once you've seen a Savannah Bananas show, because that's what it is. I get that there's baseball being played and it's competitive, but you're also going for a show. Like All American Rejects might just pop out of the stands at one point, you know? So I don't know what the longevity of it is. Where I get bothered by the Savannah Bananas discourse, it's like, well, that's what Major League Baseball has to do. It's a completely different business model.
Yeah.
You're trying to sustain two completely different businesses.
We always lose sight of whatever it is these things are. The Globetrotters are a good example.
Yes.
Globetrotters aren't in the sports business. Globetrotters are in show business.
It's a show business. And I know the Savannah Bananas will sit here and push back on the idea that they're not the Globetrotters, that they're actually competing, that there's actual games. The Bananas don't always win. I get all that stuff, but you're also doing Thunder from Down Under in the middle of a baseball game.
Yeah.
Which appeals to another aspect of this that you're never going to get in Major League Baseball. There's a lot of attractive men playing baseball and leaning into the fact that they got guns.
Yeah.
They're gyrating. They're dancing. There's a certain demographic that likes that part of the show. There's a reason why I called it Thunder from Down Under.
Right.
Or as my kid called it the first time we went to Vegas to go to Grand Canyon, we had to spend overnight so the kids could reset. The Shirtless Man Show.
Sure.
Okay. Like, yeah, I get it. There's a demographic for the Shirtless Man Show.
They're shirtless. They're not bow tieless.
So that's where I get bothered by the Bananas discourse, is that people try to view what's happening and they go, well, this is what it means for baseball. And it's going to, no, baseball's fine.
Yeah.
Are there some things that baseball can take from the Bananas to make the game a little bit more entertaining? Yes. I do think that, I have no problems with some of the stuff that Manfred wants to do, from ghost runners to various other stuff, because you got to evolve.
Yeah.
Right. But the Bananas is not a business model that can be sustained over 162 games.
The appeal of the Bananas to me is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Baseball fans have spent their entire life angry at people for trying to make the sport fun.
Yes.
Here is the sport being fun with nobody standing in the way.
Yeah.
The end. Like, I don't, for me personally, I know people that watch Bananas games on ESPN Plus, and I think to myself, why are you wasting your time? Have you not seen men dance before? Have you not seen a baseball game before?
I don't know.
Like, to me, there's nothing for me in the Bananas, but I totally get what the appeal is.
Oh, the appeal?
Yeah,
for the Bananas?
Yeah.
I saw what you did there. I think you and I are in the same boat, though, in that.
Like, it's not for me, but I get why it is successful.
It's not even a matter of is it for me or for not for me. If the kids were of a certain age, I would have taken them to a Bananas game.
Yeah.
But they've grown out of that sort of stuff. So it doesn't really, it's like going to Monster Jam. Like, there's a time and place for it. And I know that it's not really a competition. Like, Dennis Anderson's kid in Gravedigger is going to win in North Carolina?
Right.
Where the company is based out in Grandy? No,
it is. I know the Bananas don't like to be compared to the Globetrotters, but my ultimate dad moment, and I'm sure a lot of dads have done this.
Yeah.
My ultimate dad moment was taking Aaron to a Globetrotters game when he was 4, and before they started, like, slapping him on the shoulder and saying, and I remember this like it was yesterday, slapping him on the shoulder and saying, "Get ready, these guys are hilarious." Like, that's peak dad.
And you did it once.
Yeah.
Right? You did it once. Cool. I don't know how many times I want to go to that.
Right.
Like, stuff has to matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And that's where I think people get a little twisted on it. It's not like, oh my God, I can't believe people like the Bananas. No, I understand why they're popular. Just stop with well, if the Bananas do this, well, then this is what baseball needs to learn.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. Baseball's been here for over 100 years.
And keep in mind, they have put people in power that are dedicated to make sure they don't learn jack shit ever.
Yeah, that's a separate conversation altogether. All right, we got time for one more. This is from a 919.
OG NCK moderator here. This call is either for the mailbag or if you wanted to pop it over to Demetri in the morning for the Panthers podcast, feel free to do that as well. You do with this property as you see fit. But listening to Brownlow and Demetri talk about no fans being allowed for Panthers training camp, originally I thought it was stupid, and I think it is stupid, to be honest, but there is a small, silver lining for me. And I think it's going to be refreshing for the fan base to just have a break. We have been on an emotional roller coaster the last, 7 years with expectations for the Panthers, and it may be a necessary hiatus from the Panthers hype to just let them have their practices, not go crazy with how people are playing and no pads, and just let them do their thing. We can take a break and unplug and just roll into the season with minimum expectations, and hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised at best. But that's just my thought. Feel free to pass that along to Brownlow in the street or use it for mailbag. Love y'all. Appreciate it.
I love when callers end with love y'all.
Love it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do they need a break? Nah, you can never get a break.
Also, we have passed the point of keeping expectations low. Look around at any national publication and their dark horse playoff.
I know. Well, somebody has to be.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be.
I mean,
context about the Panthers and how they close out the season be damned.
Yeah.
Context be damned.
I've told Lauren hates when I say
Somebody
this. Lauren hates when I say this. I think they are going to start 4-0 and still finish 7-10, which means we are in for a long back half of the season.
Jeez. Yeah. That's going to be some angry people if that's the case.
Yeah.
If your prediction is true. Yeah, people will be upset
I mean,
about
he's dead on, though, because I still find myself in preseason hanging on every time Bryce drops back to pass because you want to know there is improvement.
That's going to wrap it up for today's edition. Thanks to everybody who checked it out. By all means, rate us, please. 5 stars only. I haven't asked people to rate the podcast in a hot minute. Helps with the algorithm. So 5 stars only, positive vibes only. Leave a review if you haven't done that yet. That also helps out with the algorithm. And to help us out, you can fill out the audience survey. Go to oviesandgilio.com. Again, that's oviesandgilio.com. Kind of soft launch this website. There's a link there that'll take you to the survey. We're looking for all feedback. Chances are that if you are listening to this, you like the show already, which we appreciate. But what can we do better? What is something that you don't hear enough of? That's the kind of stuff that we are looking for. There's prize packs involved for people who fill out the survey. We have a very exclusive, don't tell the Canadians that this hat exists, MLB Raleigh Canes crossover hat.
Yes. I saw Joe wear it the other day. It looks good.
Don't tell anybody about it, but we have one.
It looks good, but it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. We have a OG Light prize pack, which involves a tap handle that Demetri made. So we got that for you. And of course, something from our OG Triangle Media pop-up shop. So,
and I'll kick in tickets to the Sports Podcast Festival as well. Is it not going to be in time?
Not going to be in time.
All right. Well, you can have outdated tickets to the Sports Podcast Festival.
You can have one of the shirts we did not sell.
Hey, listen, these are fine home field apparel shirts.
I know. I love the shirt. I can't wait to get my hands on it. So that's going to wrap it up. Big thanks to everybody who's checked us out. We will see you on Wednesday.